Let's create a simple health bar in Unreal Engine 5. So firstly, let's create a new user interface widget blueprint, and we'll call this widget blueprint underscore health bar. And we'll go ahead and open this up. Now I've got canvas panel into our designer. And then we're going to use a progress bar for our health. Now I'm going to anchor this to the bottom left. Obviously you can put this elsewhere on the screen if you'd like. And I'm going to change it to a ready color, and I'll just put it up to 100. Now we're going to want to bind this percentage. So let's click bind here. Create binding. And then we'll just compile this for now and we'll come back to it later on. So on our event construct, we're going to want to cast to our third person character. Now if you're using the first person, obviously cast this to the first person one. And then we're going to get our player character, the object. Now we're going to promote this to a variable. And then we'll just rename this to player cast var, like so. And then we'll just compile that for now. So now if we go over to our third person character, now you can see here I've already set up a basic health variable and health system. If you want to see that in more detail, check out my other videos. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get on event begin play. We're going to create a widget. And this is going to be our health bar widget. So WB underscore health bar. And then we're simply going to add to viewport. We'll compile and save this. Now if we go back to our health bar, we'll go in the designer. Now, as you can see here, this is a percentage. So if we go back to our graph and then our get percent, we're going to want to get our variable we created earlier. And then we're going to get the health. And then because it's a percentage, we're going to divide this by 100, and then we'll plug this into the percentage. So now if we hit compile and save, and we go back over to our level, you can see when we take some damage, you can see our health updates here, and then eventually obviously we die and ragdoll. If you want to see more of those systems, be sure to check out my other videos. So the final thing we need to do is reset our health bar on respawn. So if we go back over to our character, third person character blueprint, and then as you can see here, I've already made a death function. Again, this is covered in another tutorial, so be sure to check that one out. So on the back of this, we're going to remove all widgets, like so. And then we're simply going to reuse our widget respawn. So this is going to recreate it effectively and add it back to the viewport. So on death, we're going to call a number of functions. We're going to destroy or remove our widgets and then re-add them to the window. So if we go back over to our viewport and then we take some more damage, as you can see, our health bar has reset. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.